Hello students, welcome to my class. Today the chapter which is a part of the geography, the title of the chapter is disaster management. The chapter is a very important chapter as we every year we face different challenges, either from human-made disasters or maybe the this natural disasters. So today we will be talking about especially the natural and human-made disasters. In recent times, we have been already encountering different situations, which is also part of the like a natural or we can call it like a biological disaster that is recently we are facing, especially the COVID-19 that we have been facing for 2 years, and now the third year is running. So this is 2 years how we have been actually ruined our economic part, and many of the people in fact have been suffered due to this COVID-19. So this is part of the this human sorry the biological like a disaster that we can find. And today let us talk about the how this is disaster actually takes place. And here, since we are talking about the disaster management, may say whenever we are facing different like a situation, different calamities, so how we can handle this situation, and which are the measure or which are the provision we need to create for ourselves so that we can be relief whenever there is a such kind of like a hazard or the natural calamities is occurring. So today let us know in this part, especially we will come to know that different like a situation is occurring in this world. So let us see here the hill stations, especially we go for the sightseeing sometimes, or we spend holidays, or maybe we are taking the winter or summer vacation and we go to see such places as to make ourselves happy, isn't it? So therefore, during the monsoon, especially all these areas are becoming very danger for to travel for the visitors. So therefore, usually in this season, what the other like a disaster that we see in this region and all, especially when there is a heavy rainfall then or excessive rainfall, we see that a huge rocks, boulders, and chunks of mud debris are actually sliding down from the mountains. And people traveling all these areas are actually they face a different like a hazardous situation. So as they may get buried under the rocks and boulders and all, whenever there is such a what called vegetation is taking place. So when people die in the hazardous situation, a disaster actually occurs. So therefore, a hazard is a dangerous situation that is likely to cause damage. So when death and destruction occur on the large scale due to the natural or human-made calamity, so we call it a disaster. Okay. So therefore, it is important for us to be aware of the recognize any disaster that is about to happen, so that it will be prevented, or the impact is reduced. Okay. So therefore, in this chapter let us discuss here in details, so that we will come to know how we can be aware about the different this calamities that is occurring in the nature. Now we might have seen in many places, especially hill stations or mountain or the mountainous regions. So especially the landslide in a hilly region. So you can regularly you will be getting the news, especially when the monsoon is occurring in this country. So natural disasters are actually caused by forces of nature which are actually powerful and uncontrollable and occur suddenly. So some places vulnerable to natural disasters are the Pacific coast, which are actually earthquake prone and is known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now you might have seen the image. This is a Pacific Ring of Fire. This region also has the world's largest number of active volcanoes, and many coastal areas are actually vulnerable to cyclones or hurricanes, and large populations living in floodplains and deltic regions face the disaster of floods. So communities can control a lot of damage these natural disasters bring. So it is important to have warning systems so that the public can be easily can be informed, and then excavation routes can lead people to safely, quickly, and effectively. So we need to create all these facilities before any of the situation occur. So in earthquake prone areas, buildings need to be strong and well planned to survive an earthquake without collapsing. Then in places where hurricanes and flooding are a problem, levees and dams must be strong enough to hold flood waters, and natural drainage systems must be maintained to allow water to flow back into the ocean. So now, uh, this cyclone, whenever there is a occurring, so what the this cyclone all about? Now the word cyclone was actually coined by Henry Paddington, and it comes from the Greek and Greek word this cyclos, meaning coils of a snake. Okay, so here cyclones are actually atmospheric disturbances that occur around the low pressure areas. So winds with a great speed move towards the intense low pressure area, which is called the eye of the cyclone. And the edge of the cyclonic eye, called the wall of the cyclone, is a region of devastating winds. Okay, so strong and powerful winds, or the having great speed, circulated around the center, causing violent storms. Then they occur in the hot oceans in the tropical and temperate regions of the world. Then cyclonic winds actually blow in anti-clockwise directions in the northern hemisphere, and in a clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. And these killer winds actually cause, havoc and a large like a scale destructions. And cyclones also have the different names in various parts of the world. They are also called typhoons in the China Sea, then Pacific Ocean hurricanes, and then in the Caribbean Sea and Atlantic Ocean tornadoes in the Guinea lands of West Africa and southern USA, then willy willies in northwestern Australia, and tropical cyclones in the Indian Ocean. So these kind of names are actually placed. So let us know what type of like a preparation we need to have when there is a cyclone is occurring. So preparation before cyclone hits. So which are the areas we need to prepare? Now first of all, check the house for repair works. Clear drying these trees close to the house, anchor removal and loose objects. Keep a lantern filled with a kerosene battery operated torches and enough dry cells. Then keep some dry non-perishable food for emergency use, so in case anything occurs. So what to do when the cyclone hits? So now don't panic and switch off electric mains. Listen to the radio and keep monitoring the warning systems. Then pass on official information to others. Then board up glass windows, or put storm shutters in place, and set up suitable support for outside doors. Get away from low-lying coastal areas. Then keep handy ready to eat food and enough supply of water. So move valuable articles to upper floors. Then head for evacuation points indicated for your area. So these are the few precautions. Next we have got like earthquakes. Now have you ever been experienced a sudden like a rattling of plates and glasses while having a meal, and in the next couple of seconds perhaps chairs and tables begin to rock violently, and the fans sway in a crazy manner, is it not? So before long, the plaster falls from the ceiling and cracks begin to develop on walls, and the intensity of the shaking gets stronger. The building suddenly collapses. So what you have just experienced is called an earthquake. Now it strikes suddenly, violently, and without warning. So that is we have to know. So earthquakes are actually caused due to sudden release of energy from inside the earth, causing some of the worst disasters Sometimes milder earthquakes occur before the onset of the stronger earthquake in the same place. So the larger earthquake is called the main shock. This is followed by aftershocks. Okay. So let us say understand the earthquake intensities. Now, earthquakes are actually measured using the Richter scale, which is based on a 10 logarithmic scale. So this means that a magnitude of 9.0 earthquake is twice as big as a magnitude of 8.9, comma again then a 10 times bigger than a magnitude 8.0, and 1 comma 00 times, it means 1000 times bigger than a magnitude of 6.0, and 1 lakh times bigger than a magnitude of 3.0. So this way the things are calculated. Let us know now how we can prepare ourselves before the earthquake occurs. To reduce danger, it is important to identify potential hazards in advance and plan for it. To reduce the danger of serious injuries or loss of life, local seismic building standards must be followed. So let us plan ahead how we can be safe from it. So place or store heavy and breakable objects in a closed cabinets near the ground. Then a second one, hang pictures and mirrors away from the beds, couches and sitting areas. Repair defective electrical wiring and leaky gas connections and all. Then strap the water heater to the wall studs and bolt it to the floor. Get experts advice if there are signs of structural defects. Then store weed killers, pesticides and flammable products securely in a closed cabinets with latches and on bottom shelves, so that you will not get this kind of accident. Sometimes people are dying when the things are kept not according to the information which is occurring there, especially whenever there is a cyclone or earthquake is occurring. People are keeping their luggages and all here and there without arrangement, without the thinking about the accident. Okay, so therefore we need to really keep in mind all this. So keep disaster supplies handy, everything ready. All right. So let's see here, identifying safe places, how we can identify during the earthquake. Now, sturdy furniture such as like a heavy desk or table or an inside wall can be used as a shelter. That is, you have to keep in mind during the earthquake. And keep away from places where glass could shatter around, windows, mirrors, pictures, or where heavy book cases or other heavy furniture could fall over. Okay. Then keep away from buildings, trees, telephone and electrical lines, overpasses or elevated expressways. So we need to keep in mind. So then again, which are the things we need to arrange for whenever there is we feel that earthquake is going to occur. It may say we need to supply some of the important things like a first aid kit and an earthquake supplies kit, flashlight or extra batteries, portable battery operated radio and extra batteries, emergency food and water, essential medicines, cash and credit cards. All these things we have to keep ready before any accident takes place. So therefore these are the few things that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so then again, plan an emergency communication plan, so that a plan should be made on how to reunite if a disaster takes place when children are at the school or parents at work. Then plan ahead if with your out of state relatives or friends to help you in contacting the family members, so they will be able to make long distant calls more easily. Your family must have the name, address and phone number of the contact person. So all this we need to keep in mind. So contribute towards community service. Okay, so publish a special section in your local newspaper with the emergency information on earthquakes. Then again, publish special information for locals like the phone numbers of local emergency services, offices, hospitals and crisis managers. So keep in mind. Then work with local emergency services to prepare special reports for people with mobility impairments on what to do during an earthquake. Then provide tips on conducting earthquake drills at home. Then work together with the people in your community to know about building codes, hazards, hunts, neighborhood, and family emergency plans. So all this we need to focus for to protect ourselves from the earthquakes. Okay, in my next video we will talk about the human made disasters. Okay.